Imagine a man captaining his team to the top, but at the same time instilling fear in the locker room. The first thing that comes to mind when his name is mentioned: leadership or anger? Imagine a footballer, both legend and controversy. Was he a hero or a time bomb? This is the story of Roy Keane. Roy Maurice Keane was born on August 10, 1971 in Cork, Ireland. His family was working class. The struggle to make ends meet was central to their lives. Keane learned as a child that nothing in life is handed to you on a golden platter. From an early age, struggle became part of his identity. He couldn't tolerate losing in neighborhood matches. He would attack his opponent, not the ball. Winning was not an outcome for him. It was a necessity. This tough character was both an advantage and a headache in his professional football journey. He started his career at Cove Ramblers. By the age of 18, he was already receiving offers from England. In 1990, when he transferred to Nottingham Forest, he attracted attention from the very first day. There, he fell into the hands of legendary manager Brian Clough. Clough tried to mold him and admired Keane's never-give-up spirit, but indiscipline was never far from his mind. Lateness to training, harsh reactions, cards. Yet everyone knew there is something else about this boy. In 1993, 22-year-old Roy Keane joined Manchester United, breaking the British transfer record at the time. Sir Alex Ferguson had figured out his character. The team needed someone who could lead the team. Keane was a born leader. From the first season, he took the field for Manchester United. He showed his difference. He quickly became one of the key players in the midfield with his endless energy, pressing power, ball-catching skills, and game-changing passes. But Roy Keane's greatest attribute was something even beyond his game intelligence: psychological warfare. He intimidated opponents and kept even his own teammates on their toes. In 1997, when Eric Cantona retired from football, the captain's armband went to Keane. From that moment on, he became not just a footballer, but the soul of the team. In the dressing room, his word was law. Sometimes this authority.
You can see the writing on the pavement. Young kids, they're growing up in basements. Online, a whole new generation. I'ma make mine, so you better.
The most legendary season was undoubtedly 1998-1999. Premier League, FA Cup, and Champions League. They won 3 major trophies in the same season and made the treble. This achievement went down in the history of not only English, but also world football, and the Juventus game. Champions League semi-final. United were 2-0 down away from home. Keane scored a header, then single-handedly dominated the midfield, but he picked up a yellow card and would miss the final. Nevertheless, he played for his team. He sacrificed himself. After that game, Sir Alex Ferguson said of him, "Roy Keane is Manchester United's greatest captain." But Keane's triumphant career was also controversial. His aggressive nature sometimes crossed the line. And perhaps the darkest moment of his career, the Alfingre-Haaland incident. In 1997, Keane fell down in a tackle with Haaland and suffered a serious knee injury. Haaland turned to him and said, "Don't pretend." Keane didn't forget that. Not only did he remember it, he wrote it down. In 2001, in a match played years later, Keane made a very hard tackle on Haaland's knee. He got a red card. But the real scandal erupted years later, when he admitted in his autobiography that he had done it on purpose. "I waited. I did it on the day," he wrote. The British media was up in arms. Football public opinion was divided. Keane got his revenge, some said. Others said, "This is not professional sport, this is hatred." But those who knew Keane knew this: he was unforgiving. By 2005, things started to change. Some of the younger players in the team complained about Keane's toughness. He described it as softness. One day, in an analysis video that was not broadcast on club television but shared within the club, Keane slammed some young players. This footage reached Ferguson, and the crisis that erupted ended 12 years of togetherness. Sir Alex Ferguson had a meeting with Keane and sacked him. This was not just the departure of a player, but the end of an era. When Keane left Manchester United, he left behind 7 Premier League titles, 4 FA Cups, and 1 Champions League. But perhaps most important was the respect he had earned on the pitch. Keane's new stop was Celtic. However, in the short time he spent here, injuries and the age factor showed that his football had come to an end. He could no longer fight like he used to. He could not reflect his old toughness on the pitch. In 2006, he said goodbye to his professional football career. What remained were trophies, outbursts of anger, red cards, and an unforgettable story of leadership. Keane gave up football, but he didn't stay away from the pitch. He started his coaching career at Sunderland. He managed to take the team to the Premier League and was highly appreciated. But things didn't go well at Ipswich Town. Afterwards, he worked as an assistant coach for the Irish national team. But his real breakthrough came as a media commentator. His comments on Sky Sports were sharp, honest, and often scathing. The voices of those who say there are no more Roy Keanes were becoming louder and louder every day. Because he spoke like a leader, even on screen. He feared no one. Roy Keane's legacy cannot be measured in numbers. 7 Premier League, 4 FA Cup, 1 Champions League. These are the trophies he won, but the real legacy is his mentality. He was a man who said, second place is nothing. He had nothing to do with anyone who didn't want the best in the dressing room. Sometimes a despot, sometimes a hero, but always the truth. He's remembered as one of the last true captains in football history, because very few footballers have passed through this world who gave their all like him. The story of Roy Keane is not only the story of a footballer, but also the story of a warrior. Do you think Roy Keane was one of the greatest leaders in football history, or was he an uncontrolled force? Write in the comments and share your opinion. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next legendary story. I had to make it 8 minutes long to get some revenue from the video. Please excuse me and like the video to support me and to avoid getting kicked by Roy Keane at any moment. I'd like to take a moment of silence for Roy Keane, and I'd like to say thank you.